Welcome back to the Brew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 268. Back in the church room bar. Happy as can be. It's a happy Monday, I'd say.
Is it a happy Monday?
It's a happy Monday. It was a happy Sunday as well. Got a nice greeting on Sunday. Said, "Hey, happy Sunday."
And I didn't get a retort. So just to catch the Chuggalos up, I just randomly, I wasn't fishing for anything. I just was like, I woke up on the right side of the bed and I messaged JT and I was like, "Hey, happy Sunday, looking forward to tomorrow." And this guy big gamed me and didn't send anything back.
Yeah, I decided, nah, it's not worth it.
So then today I didn't hear anything about the pod, and I was like, oh, maybe something came up. But then he was doing band practice, and he was doing all this other, fun shit. And I just thought, I was on the outside looking in, and he sent me a screenshot of his Apple phone and, his I Heart Steve Jobs emojis. And he did respond. I restarted my phone.
I had responded.
I restarted my phone. It didn't show up.
It might be. I mean, that's an Android, right? A lot of Google's going through some shit right now with their AI and stuff.
No, it's not an AT&T thing. Let's not.
I didn't say AT&T. I said Google.
Let's not get it twisted. So
I didn't say AT&T.
It's essentially what this boils down to is this is a scheme by Big Apple.
Big tech.
There's a way to do it so it looks like you've sent the text messages, but you, in all actuality, did not send the text messages.
I'm definitely tricking you.
You tricked me.
I tricked him. Anyway,
you trickster.
That's that. So
that's it.
That's it
for 268.
I did reply, and that's where we're at.
All right.
I replied.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that's what you call transition.
I'm trying to think of. I had a beer that I had over the weekend, but I can't remember it. So, what do you got on tap?
Amazing.
Now, I had remembered it, but I just forgot
it. We were obviously talking before the camera and the mics heated up, and we were talking about all military stuff that wouldn't translate very well on here. They're great stories. It's just that we need more beer to put in. So there I was in the shit. Type stories. Wow, that was a juicy one that came up and went down.
Yeah.
So what I'm just right now, I'm at that point where I'm tired of my fridge, so I'm just cleaning it out.
Yeah.
So I've got a trip coming up. So next week we will be recording we'll be recording a day early, but a little bit later in the day. Either way, you'll get the content.
The content will be there
ahead of time. It's just going to be us distanced.
That's true.
And
I didn't forget the beer this time.
And you didn't forget the beer. So now the pressure is on me to make sure that the beers don't explode.
It's okay if they do. I have 3 more.
I think it's on Old Wives' Tale.
If it does,
I don't think it happens.
If it does explode, then we'll save it for when you get back.
Yeah. So some tasty beverages on tap for next week, and they really tasty. Are going to make up for the shit beer that we're having today.
Oh yeah. Today's a shit beer day.
I don't know. It sounded like something organic to say.
Yeah. I do remember the beer I had. It was this year's.
See, I bought you time.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
It was tap dance.
Ninja vs. Unicorn.
Another one?
No, I don't know that it changes ever, but the can changes every year. So I had the newest one. And it tasted just as good as it always has. It was a little danker than I remember it being. And maybe it's
because 6 years ago?
Maybe it's because I mentally I had prepared myself for a pseudo stew. And then I had the Ninja vs. Unicorn. It was a little danker.
That's a really big. So you were mentally preparing for one of the best,
like a hazy, right? That's
of all time.
And then I had a Dippa. Yeah.
I don't think pseudo stew is it a hazy?
If it's not hazy, it's juicy. They use one of those adjectives.
Interesting.
I'll have to figure it out.
Do you think that?
Maybe it's not.
Do you think that for IPAs that juicy is still overused? This was like a hot take like Cobra had in 19.
Oh man, I think it's still a good hot take.
Is it overused?
Is it overused?
Is it emblazoned on cans?
I think I might be masking my ability to see current trends because I'm so selective.
I don't see anything.
I think that we were much more onto the trends.
Yeah.
When we were doing things like going to beer fests and stuff.
Right.
Or they were even being hosted, which, is hard to find now. Whereas now we're just selectively choosing the beers we drink and that we share. I'm going to say no. No longer is it overused. But I feel like it might be. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. What I'm saying is, I'm just not seeing it.
Interesting.
But I'm not looking for it. I've really settled into my IPAs now.
I'm gonna remain agnostic
Okay.
on the juicy topic. And the second thought that I had before we get into the first beer, because today's going to be a quantity day, so I want to talk to you. If we, you'll see after the first beer. Number 2 that I brought up. So remember, I bought all of those beers and I took pictures. I threw them on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
That guy, Steve Beer, as he's in my phone, Steve Beer reached out and said, "Hey guys, I still have 19,000 cans,
holy shit,
and bottles or whatever." And he goes, "I'm selling them even cheaper now."
Wow.
So I sold all. I bought all of that. The pictures are on there. I spent $240 for everything that I got. Now there were some complete misses. Like they were past their prime.
Yeah.
But the lion's share of what I've had so far has been all right to good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. And he's always been willing. There's been a couple of them that have been not good, like the Lord Hobos and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't need to make, like, you gave them to next to nothing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making another trip up there. So if that's something you want to do,
I think that might be something I want to do.
We'll work out a time. We'll go together.
Yeah.
So and then
great.
hopefully I won't give myself just like 30 minutes where I'm just like pitching.
Oh
shit.
yeah, we'll have more time.
Because again, he's
good
got
to look through it all.
An amazing collection. He's just trying to get rid of it, and he goes at even of a deeper discount. So maybe that there'll be something coming up. It would be. We don't have the capability to like live stream it and go through and like have people pick out for us, but
oh boy, could you imagine? We could.
It would take just hours. Like, oh, what do you think about this or whatever? Yeah. But like, I gave Stev that vertical of the one. Motherfucker. I gave it to him on Christmas. Christmas episode.
Cheese grater. It was cheese grater IPA.
Cheese grater IPA. Yeah, but it was
I
like
made
6
that
Yep.
up.
But outside of that, let's get to our first beer because again, it's going to be, and I fucked up.
It's a quantity day.
I totally fucked up. I need a corkscrew.
Okay.
I don't know if I have one down here.
Let's see.
I know where I have one.
You know where you have one?
Yeah, it's upstairs, but I was trying to think.
That's
Go into that top middle drawer. See if I have one. Otherwise, I can dance until you come down. I got a bottle opener because I was like, here's a big bottle. Look at that. See, there we go.
That should work.
This one's sharp, so I'm probably going to cut myself. That'd be great because I cut myself when JT's around. So this beer, while I'm screwing into it, is Lock 27, which there's a lot to talk about with Lock 27 alone.
Oh, yeah.
This is Bill's Donut beer. And they've done an annual Bill's Donut beer. This is off of their Persian donut. Or Persian donut, sorry.
They have a Persian donut there?
Are you familiar what a Persian donut is? There's a picture on it, so you can get to that with the canner boner segment. You know why I'm not good at corkscrews?
Because you don't drink wine.
Because I have a wife that is really good with that stuff. And she just laughs at me. Had I done a little bit more research, there we go.
You got it.
You say that.
I think you're supposed to go down, aren't you?
I just ripped the cork. All right. So I'll go even further.
This'll work.
I thought it's going to be that first one. You're not supposed to go to the top. That one is.
It doesn't hook. Yeah, I don't know. I don't drink things with corkscrews in them usually.
You son of a bitch.
Like wine and stuff. Not a big wine guy.
Okay, I got a funny corkscrew.
You got it.
I got a funny corkscrew story for you, JT, and for the people.
I'm excited. Oh, you got it. You're getting it.
So
it's coming.
a few years ago, many years ago.
Oh man.
Close to 20 years ago. We didn't have a corkscrew, and my buddy's Chuggalo Mikey's wife, there we go, wanted to drink.
Oh, look at that.
I pinched myself.
Oh, you all right?
Yeah, except I busted the cork. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Wanted to drink wine, and we didn't have a corkscrew, and as you can see, we didn't have the skills really to use a corkscrew, had we. So I was like, just get a screw. We'll screw it in with a drill.
Life hack.
And then we'll take a pair of pliers.
Yeah, and we'll get it out of there. We got it out of there. And then they were only in this rental for another 2 months, and they had red wine
on their ceilings. So you know what's good for red wine off of ceilings?
Paint.
They didn't want to paint. Was the
head texture.
Popcorn, but what are those pads that take like marker? Magic eraser.
Magic erasers. Yeah, Mr. Clean. The magic eraser is somewhat of an anomaly. I'm not exactly sure how that thing works, but it is magic, I think. Okay. How does it work? What is
there? We go.
Look at that. I heard it.
The longest beer opening story of all time.
That was awesome.
Okay, it was not awesome.
So magic eraser got all the wine out?
Got it, so they didn't notice it anymore.
Well, that's good.
So, but anyways, that became a funny story, and we were younger, and we were finally starting to explore the craft beer. So there was so much beer and stuff spilled on that carpet.
How do you feel about security deposits? You got any opinions on security deposits?
I've only ever had to pay I only ever rented, I guess twice, but for combined under 2 years, and I got both security deposits back. But they weren't like egregious. Now I hear it's like first and last month's rent plus.
Yeah, we've experienced that.
A rubber chicken.
I'm not so concerned about having to provide a security deposit. I'm more, but as someone who's now owned and rented out property, I think that the security deposit like mindset should change. It should be a security deposit's required. And you should expect like 10% of it to be spent, because as a homeowner you're gonna have to paint and stuff, and I guess that's part of the homeowner's cost. But also, what if it's not?
I don't have. I guess I'm not that. When we moved out of the townhouse before we bought our house, we got everything back, but Stacy was amazing at going through. And granted, much like you and Caterade, we're not rough people. We don't smoke. We only had a cat at the time, so there wasn't any dog marks or anything like that. So there wasn't. But again, I don't remember it being agreed, because for military, I think it was just like $200 or something like that. So if we went to got all of it back, wow. I know it wasn't a lot. So
anyway, I just saw that while you were talking.
Well, that's
all right. So again, Persian donuts,
things that make us drink. So, anyways, this is from Lock 27. Lock 27 is a local Dayton brewery. They're actually out of Centerville now. They used to have 2 locations. They only have 1. We can get into a little of the rumor and innuendo why that is. But this is their Bill's Donut Stout, an annual beer. Bill's is a Dayton institution. We did do the Bill's Blueberry Blonde Ale on episode 243. That was in August of this last year, and we had held on to that beer from the year before. So this is the 2023. That was the 2022. Different donut. And again, 7.1, so it's light for a stout. It's got all of the body and the color and the texture that you would feel. But again, you can find out more from them at lock27brew.com. Great story about their proprietor, brewmaster, owner, Steve, how he fell in love with the beer industry when he was sneaking sips of his uncle's domestic beer in the 70s. But again, he stopped and went all in 2012 when he started the brewery, because a full-time job and doing his hobbies was getting to be too much. I didn't follow Lock 27. I know when they opened in 2012, the first one that I was aware of in the area, because I moved to the area in 2011, was Dayton Beer Company, because they were on Indian Ripple. And I went to that.
They were.
Went to that first location. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Where at?
It was just like in not a little strip mall, but it was like right in a neighborhood. It's not there anymore.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, because they're in Dayton now.
Yeah, so they have 2 different. They had that. I think they still have the original in that location.
Oh no shit! I didn't know that.
And the weird thing is, so Lock 27, they're named after the Miami Erie Canal. Sorry, Stacy. And the effect that it had on the Dayton area. And in 2019, they won the first Great American Beer Festival medal. I don't know what medal it was, that was ever awarded in the Dayton area.
No shit.
They were the first winners. I would never have gotten that piece of trivia question.
I wonder if...
that was for a Belgian Wit beer.
That's great history. I did not know any of that stuff. Really, the lock part is interesting, because like we're big fans of Carillon Historical Park.
Yeah.
The brewery as well, but the historical park. And we went for the Christmas light thing. They have like this light festival there, and you can take a train ride around the park. And we passed they have a lock, like a old I don't know, Erie Canal lock.
Yep.
There. And it's just in the ground. There's no water in it. And I'd seen it, but I'd never heard of what it was. But I wonder if that's the one.
It could be. There's a few locks in the area. So, and a lot of them controlled a lot more business than others. It just depends. I'm going to guess it was one of the bigger ones, but again, so it was just named after, which is cool to attach yourself to both a lineage and give yourself an identity in the area. I'm guessing that's what Steve and friends did.
Probably.
But they do have their one location now, and again, the aforementioned Centerville. Outside of that, some interesting thoughts. I don't know what a Persian donut is, but there's a picture on there.
It looks kind of like a pirouette.
Like a pinwheel. Like it's wrapped.
Well, yeah, have you seen those flaky, I think it's a pirouette, in like Costco has them. They're glazed, but they're crunchy. They're like, they're not soft like donuts. I'll find a picture of them. They're very, very good.
So we have in Norwegian, because they're Norwegian cookies, we have rosettes, which are crispy and they fall apart. They're thicker. And then Chuggalos. So another... my grandma makes
I don't know that
18 or 19 different types of cookies every year. She starts 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and bakes all the way through. But rosettes, Chuggalos, and I'm forgetting the other one.
Yeah.
But I guess you could Google it. But again, 7.1 for a I can buy time. 7.1 for
Palmier, not pirouette. Pirouettes are something else. You know Palmier?
No.
They look like this. They sell them at Costco. Oh,
pirouette is a ballerina move. Now. That's why I gave you a side look. Okay.
I don't know if I'm logged into this Kroger app. I don't think there's any personal information, but if you can see, I use Kroger, so that's why I'd be logged in. But my name's not on there. But these are the cookies that they're really, really good.
Now we just ordered 30 orders of them.
That's
so
fine.
Now you guys
that's
will
fine.
Have them. They're good. They're desirable.
I love them, but they kind of look like what this is, but I'm sure that those are soft and probably coated in some sort of. I'm gonna look it up. Let's look it up.
And this beer, ironically, was brought to me by one of my colleagues and longtime Untapped friend, but now we're work associates, Chuggalos Bruno, and I bequeathed him a Bill's Blueberry beer, and this is the only way that this Bill's Donut beer was made production this year. They didn't can it. So it only came in bottles.
I heard that.
So that was a decision that was made here, and I don't know. I mean, we could talk about that. This seems like a harder product to move, but maybe more exclusive because again, this is a 7.5.
It's basically a frosted cinnamon roll.
This is a 7.5, and unless you have I mean, I'm not recorking this.
Yeah, you're not gonna recork this.
Sorry, Stev, but
7.5 is really good.
So definitely a beer to share.
You could drink this by yourself at a 7.5.
No, I'm saying 750.
Oh, 750. My bad. I must have heard because I was reading.
Yeah, no, it's a 7.1.
7.1, even better. I mean, shit.
But yeah, I'm dancing a little bit. Hopefully you've got.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I can do the can art. Here's the can art bonus segment
by Bruno. See, that's that pirouette is. CT calls it.
Palmier. Palmiers are great. Okay, so looking up the Persian donut, it's basically a cinnamon roll, but the cinnamon part's optional. It can just be a donut that's wrapped with frosting on top. But some of them have cinnamon. It's.
Have you ever had that Persian donut?
No.
Okay.
No. I never like cinnamon rolls the way other people do. I like people, bake them and they love them. I'm just like, I pass. I don't care about this.
My mother-in-law, for my daughters, will make cinnamon rolls. And it's one thing, it's an easy avoid for me because I look at that and I go, for me, because then my father-in-law is going to be cooking, that's where I'm going to have my calories. Like the cinnamon rolls, like...
Yeah.
and they smell. Or I will buy the ones that come in the and put them in a.
Oh yeah, the Pillsbury stuff.
There we go.
They're typically, if it's a choice between sweet and savory, I choose sweet. But if it's a choice between sweet cinnamon rolls or savory breakfast, I'm choosing the breakfast.
Yeah.
I want the eggs and bacon and stuff. Now I do have my own opinions on Bill's. I prefer Stan the Man.
Yeah, still
Stan the Donut Man, which originally I
heard
believe the two were brothers. I think we've gone over this. I don't know. Cobra might have known the history. They're brothers. No, now different owners for both places, neither of which are related. I don't even know if they're related to the original guys.
No,
so they're totally different.
I know Bill's got bought out, and we went over this.
Stan's is a different.
You went over you had a good chart or a good flow for 243.
Oh, okay, 243. There we go. But anyway, I went to Stan the Man's this weekend to bring some donuts to my band practice, and the owner was there, and she was hating on Bill's while I was there, which I found to be endearing. Most people would be like, "Oh, that you shouldn't do that." I thought it was really good that she had so much pride in her business.
So she was getting very tribal about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Someone came from Centerville and was like, "We're here from Centerville. We come here instead of Bill's." They were just trying to compliment her, and it changed her day, which I think is really nice. She was really into it, and she's like, "I just get those people who own Bill's now," and I was like, "Hell yeah."
Well, that's
hopefully I'm not doming her out, but I liked hearing that from her.
That's how people. Pride. That's how people got about Tanks, which was a beloved institution, and then when Tank passed away, and decisions were made, there's people that we both know that were like, we'll never go there again. That were brand loyal.
Yeah. Well,
I believe in tribalism in a few certain, the big reason and why I had that on the tip of my vernacular is because of WWE versus TNA versus.
Oh sure,
AEW
I could see tribalism there. There's some. I feel like tribalism. I try to be, I try to reflectionary. I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah.
About all the things that I'm pretty tribal about. But yeah, donuts. I probably wouldn't change my opinion. Bill's is good. There's if you put them next to each other, could I tell you which one stands and which one's probably not? They're very good. I think Dayton. That might be one of Dayton's unspoken achievements is that they have excellent donuts.
Really? Okay, yeah.
There's not a lot of things that people are like, you have to go to Dayton for XYZ. Cincinnati has their shitty chili. Dayton doesn't really have anything, but I think you could put donuts on that list. Beer and donuts, probably. Okay.
This beer has only been checked in 76 times. There's no way.
Wow. Very rare beer. Well, I'm going to tell you. So the Canard Bunner, so it's got, what I assume to be, I can't really see terribly well, but it looks like a cinnamon stick in the background. They're almost like the appearance of sprinkles, and then it's got the donut, a drawing of a donut. Then the Bill's logo, Bill's Donut Shop Stout. And Lock 27 really, compliments to them. They are they're not even at the forefront of this beer. They're almost, you have to squint your eyes to see Lock 27 even on this label. So they really highlight Bill's as being the superstar of this beer. That's the Canard Bunner segment. Now, on to, I like the bottle too. Nice bottle shape, good big punt. And just, it's just got a good size to it. Shareable, but also you can drink it by yourself if you wanted to.
I'm with you. It'd be a lot to drink.
It'd be a lot, but 7-1, not bad. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I would actually really like to hear Chuggalos Phil's perspective, because he's I think more than us really he's really knowledgeable on the split between a porter and a stout and where that kind of happens in the malt roasting process.
Yeah.
But stouts from my palate typically tend to have more viscosity, and the porters tend to be more watery. This really toes the line, in my opinion. But boy, it does it well. This does not have any of the off-putting malt char that you'd get from an overcooked porter, and it has all the sweetness that you'd get in an excellently made stout. It's and it's watery. It's not thick. It's not like a what do we call it? Usually like black tar kind of.
Motor oil.
Motor oil. Stout. Nope, not like that. It's almost refreshing. I gotta be honest here. This is, I'm just gonna come off the top rope. This beer is a 5. I love this beer. It's well executed. It's perfectly drinkable. There's nothing wrong with this beer. I don't even care to compare it to the flavors of a Persian donut if I'd had one. Whether I taste cinnamon or not, to me it doesn't matter because this beer is really, really well done. It's just good. It's just really good. So, can I say I taste cinnamon? I'll be honest, no. I think there's more sweet sugar. I guess you could maybe go with like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like sweet cinnamon. And they just do an excellent job of not having the malts overtake it. There's no coffee, overtones or undertones. It's just the donut is the star of this beer. It does actually have that breadiness that a donut would have. This is a really well done beer.
100% the breadiness. 100% like the nuttiness of like where you get like a cinnamon roll. Not like that's like, there's like pecan rolls out there that are massive, bread.
Wow, pecan roll, that would be insane.
But this is delightful. I'm not as high as JT is, but I'm up there in the upper pantheon. Off the top rope, this is a 4 or 5. This is, I don't know, you take the body or like your basic recipe for a stout, and then you just doctor it up with all of these amazing adjuncts. And that's what this one does. And people are going to be like, bring it up a couple of temperatures. Like, it's been sitting in a soft-sided cooler here for like the last 45 minutes or whatever. So it's a little bit warmer. So I think some of that flavor, those vibrance, those adjuncts have awoken in that a little bit. And even as it warms up or whatever, and we sit here and enjoy it even more, maybe there's more sweetness.
Yeah, maybe.
Or, those palate pleasers that come out of it. But this is a home run. It was hard to beat that blueberry beer or that blueberry donut. And blueberry donuts, I'm not a big donut guy, but blueberry donuts are my favorite out of donuts before you get into like the gimmicked, like Bismarck's and custard filled ones or whatever. This is, and again, not being familiar with a Persian donut, this again, dynamite. Off the top rope, 4 or 5. And Chuggalo Bruno, it's not often that you get gifted a home run.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, ask any of the Chuggalos who've gifted beers.
Yeah.
I will say...
God, it's so good.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. I forgot.
Such an easy... But, I mean, you were going to say...
I was going to say. I will say... I don't remember... I remember now. Typically, when I order a stout out, like at a restaurant, I'm already mentally prepared to have just the one, and then I'll get a different beer on my next order. Whereas I think if I had this for the first time out and about, I would order it. It would just be the thing.
You almost said that like somebody from
out and about.
Out and about.
I was listening to the, not to tip my hand, but I do listen to Joe Rogan, and I listened to the Tom Green episode. And he's Canadian, and he says a boot.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very... So, yeah, I guess the Wisconsin version would be in the middle. Did you see Shane Gillis's SNL appearance?
No, I've read reviews.
But there was a Packers skit.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, there was a skit about a bunch of Packers fans sitting around a table talking about, like, the ads that come up on your phone. Yeah, you'll have to check it out, because I hear that... I don't know if there's a marketing department that... attacks people who speak poorly of the Packers.
Yeah.
Or because I know they're fan owned or whatever. I don't know how the organization works. I'm sure they have all the same positions that most teams have.
Like media relations.
Yeah, media relations. I heard that the Packers politely asked NBC to not post that skit on the YouTube because it did not reflect well on Packers fans. But it's a joke. It was actually... Like, if it was about the Bears, like, it's a funny joke.
Yeah, everything's funny or nothing's funny.
Yeah, I'd heard, and I don't know that there's any confirmed sources that the Packers had asked them not to post that.
I'll have to watch it and then see if I have a reaction. I want to go back to Tom Green because I was a man or a boy of that age where Tom Green resonated immensely with me.
Yeah,
I got so much shit from my friends for suggesting that we all go to a movie. We went to Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, Freddy Got Fingered.
And
Great
the other 3 individuals said it was the worst movie that they've ever seen in their life.
It's pretty bad. That's the one. I'm
the asshole in my group of friends. All 3 of them could bury me for the rest of my life, and I enjoyed it or whatever. But like again, they just.
That movie was at the right time.
Tom Green was ahead of his time, and if he would have been like in the viral sensation with all of his stuff, he'd be much bigger than what he was.
Yeah.
He was like 5 to 6 years in front of all of this wave of comedy and this wave of self-promotion or whatever.
Yeah.
And he lucked out having his, with Glenn and everyone on the show and the guy that was behind him or whatever. But I dug what he did. It's hard to come around his stuff now, but I always thought he was hilarious. But like taking a piece of shit and putting it on a microphone and trying to question people. Like,
Tom Green. Yeah, he was ahead of his time. There was just like there's skate punk, there's skate comedy, and most of it was painful or very like I guess you couldn't tell whether they were joking or not. Tom Green he was a skater comic. Like Jackass would be the skater comedy that's like painful.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom Green was kind of like he'd be sarcastic in your face and you wouldn't know if he was being for real or not. And he talks a little bit about that in the Joe Rogan episode. But yeah, he was amazing. I didn't know that he was really into rap.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously with the Bum song, you could tell, but he had a record deal before he was a comedian.
He did.
And I didn't know that until I listened to that. But anyway, he's Canadian and speaks in a lot of Canadian accents.
Because he moved back.
Yeah, he moved back. He has, and he talks about that like that. The whole first hour is him talking about his farm in Canada.
When you listen to Joe, and then I'm gonna have a question about the next beer.
Yeah.
When you listen to Joe, his episodes are like 3 hours
They're
long.
too long.
Are they too long?
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna be like
typically if you look at like
forward?
my play history, I will only listen to like 1 or 2 hours. I rarely listen past 2 hours, but mostly I won't listen past 90 minutes. Unless I know something's coming or the conversation is just that captivating. Like the Jelly Roll episode, who I don't listen to country at all. Don't care about country, and I still don't after listening to the Jelly Roll episode. But that guy was so captivating that I just listened to the whole thing.
It's interesting because, country music, he felt, it's like Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
It wasn't their first genre. Like,
oh, yeah, and he's definitely along the Post Malone, more like Post Malone kind of independent.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter, singer-rapper, whatever, rapper-songwriter. But he's a country guy, and his story is really interesting. His is crazy. Tom Green's similar. I thought I would turn it off halfway through, and nope, I'm still listening. It's very long, though. I mean, I don't listen to every episode either, because they're too long.
Yeah, it's all just about,
pick the guests you like, and then that's it.
Cherry pick. Okay, so my next question is, since this was a lot, should we split the next beer, or do you want your own can? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It's a pint can.
What do we? So I guess I would have to know like where we're at, maybe ABV wise.
So it's a 9.2, but we have more of this beer, and you really enjoy this one.
I do enjoy it.
I don't want to. So we can split one, and you can take one with you if you'd like. I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to be respectful. I don't want to like have any poured out. Or
that's what I don't want. Let's share it. I don't want to pour any out either.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like pouring beer out.
But you can take one with you.
Okay.
So that's just a good way. So it's kind of funny. I was setting it up. This is Weldwerks Triple Juicy.
Triple Juicy.
Triple
nice.
Juicy.
You did set that up nice.
I did set that up, yeah. Triple Juicy Diamonds. And this is made in collab with Other Half, which is great because Other Half is just exploding in popularity. Mm-hmm. You can't go to a craft beer or a package or a bottle store and not see Other Half. Someone's going to chime in from Minnesota or Wisconsin saying, I haven't ever seen Other Half.
No.
It's everywhere.
You will see.
So Weldwerks is out of Greeley, Colorado. We've done them one other time before, like we've done Lock 27 one other time before. Ironically, right around the same time. So Lock 27 was episode 243. Weldwerks was episode 239, and their most famous beer is, can you grab two glasses for me? Is Juicy Bits, which I brought up because they use like Juicy on every other beer.
Juicy Bits.
All right. So this one's a lot easier to open.
That was much easier.
Wow. Okay.
You already smell it?
Yep. This is a 9.2.
Look at that.
And this is
nice
a hazy Niepa.
Hazy Niepa, but you said it was a triple?
No, just triple in the name.
Just triple in the name.
Triple Juicy Diamonds.
What is that?
Right?
That smells like...
So you can find out more from Weldwerks. So
I think I might have a water issue here.
Yeah. Lock 27 started in 2012, local. Weldwerks, which is far more prevalent, distributed, etc., started in 2015. Yep, it's a hazy triple. So I guess I didn't see online where it was a triple, but it says hazy triple IPA. So I guess it is a triple.
Okay.
9.2, which would make sense at that ABV.
Yeah, 9.2.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So you can find out more. Just their website is just Weldwerks. I didn't go over it. Sorry, it was Lock 27 Brew for the previous one, but Weldwerks. And again, fairly basic website, nothing too crazy or outlandish or anything. They definitely specialize in IPAs though, like that's their thing. And other half is again out of Brooklyn. They're everywhere. They have like the same, understated, like almost like a wallpaper type can art with nothing like offensive or anything on it. Maybe like one small graphic or whatever. But wow,
this registers a lot of.
And by the way, if we want to, we can always open another can. I don't know if she's going to be needed.
Yeah, maybe not.
You might be able to get away with saying like this is pineapple juice and drink it in the morning.
Maybe.
Holy shit.
All right, can art bonus segment. Now, yeah, wallpaper was a good descriptor actually, because even with, and this is brought to you by Chuggalo, I forgot.
Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno very often or ever.
No. That's a Frozen reference. You didn't get that though.
I don't get that because I've seen Frozen one time.
Is it Bruno?
Ended there. There's been a lot more princess and girl related Disney movies lately. When my kids were young, it was more, I guess it would be unisex, but it was more boy like stuff like Ice Age and
The Land Before Time 34.
Yeah.
That was very...
No, we didn't watch those Land Before Times. What was the other big Disney stuff?
Land Before Time 28.
Well, Toy Story. Toy Story is obviously.
My girls are on a big Toy Story kick right now.
All four. We might have some stuff you guys can have. We have like probably the largest collection of Toy Story crap ever.
They're excited to ride the Slinky Dog ride when we go to Disney World or down there.
There's a snake in my boot.
There is a snake in my boot.
That's a bad thing. You don't want that.
Because that means your penis is too long.
That, or there's a really legit snake in your boot. Or there's a
camel spider
check for spiders.
There's a camel spider on your face.
It's more appropriate.
Let me use this frying pan.
So wallpaper wasn't an apt description of like the aesthetic, because this is very wallpaper-ish. It's unoffensive. It's got a theme. It's space. It reminds me of this is the second time I'm mentioning this in this Sunday through Monday week, because I mentioned it yesterday. Space Pants. Have you seen Space Pants from Peter Dinklage?
No, I've never seen Space Pants, and much like this week, and you probably texted me, and I didn't get it.
So yes, if you haven't seen Space Pants, it's a Peter Dinklage skit from Saturday Night Live, which I don't even watch Saturday Night Live that much, and I've mentioned it twice this episode. But I was at a conference 2 weeks ago, and one of the government representatives is like obsessed with Space Pants, and he played it during lunch, like for everybody, while we were sitting in the conference room not doing anything. And it's a very funny sketch for Peter Dinklage. So this reminds me of Space Pants. You should check out Space Pants. You'll be like, yeah, that can's just like...
Put it on my list of things.
Yeah, along with John Wilson. With John Wilson. I think you'd love that show, by the way.
I like to... So I think you should John Wilson. That's what...
How to with John Wilson, I think it's called.
Yeah, so I think you should.
I think you should leave with John Wilson and Tim Robinson. I think you should leave as the greatest comedy show of all time, by the way. So that's, I mean, the can art, it's foil. It's really nice, rainbow foil. Those familiar with sports cards would recognize the rainbow foil as being a sort of parallel to the base card. Topps makes a rainbow parallel. That's
Magic makes foil cards.
Do they make rainbow foil?
They make foil, yeah.
Yeah, foil cards are always good, but the rainbow foil, that's even rarer. In Top Stadium Club, I believe it's out of 25. It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So that's a little inside scoop. Some of your friends might understand that.
Oh yeah,
because you have some baseball card collecting friends. So that's the can art. I'm
gonna retire on my Carlos Baerga rookie card that I have.
Oh yeah, you should.
It's one of 400,000.
Ryan Klesko, maybe. Or, who are the other touted rookies that didn't amount to anything? Kevin Moss.
Carlos Baerga had it.
Yeah, he's probably worried.
They went to the World Series.
They did go to the World Series. They did not win.
They didn't.
The Braves did.
The Braves. Speaking of Braves, and there's people suing to get the Commanders to change their name back to the Redskins.
I heard that. You know, how do you feel? Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's a name.
Yeah,
it's like the Guardians naming their team after bridges.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't really care.
But no one could even in 10 years. No one will ever be able to tell you why that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's true. That's true. No one will know. I don't know.
The Brewers are 1-1. The Brewers are 1-1 in spring training.
Oh yeah, the Cubs are 2-1. No, 1-2. What's the wins? Wins are first.
Wins are first.
2-1. 2-1.
Big sports fan.
What are fucking spring training? Who cares? But you know we have a good coach now, so things are changing. Things are looking up for the Cubs. He knows how to use players really well.
He's just like Dusty Baker. He went to the Dusty Baker School of player utilization.
No, he did not go to Dusty Baker.
He was really good.
School.
I mean, Dusty Baker knew how to manage pitchers, especially extend their careers.
There's no way that Counsell uses pitchers like that, does he?
No, God, no.
No one uses pitchers like Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker's the worst.
Pitchers,
he uses his closers for 3 innings. You know?
Pitchers will never see the same batter 3 times with Craig Counsell.
Okay, good. Yeah, Dusty Baker, holy shit. But I feel like, on one regard, I feel like I am excited and I want to talk about the ways in which I heard a radio guy say, this is a backtrack. A few years ago, I used to listen to 670 The Score. They put their shows on podcast, and I used to listen to them every day.
Was this radio guy on Joe Rogan?
No.
Okay.
So I used to listen to Boers and Bernstein when I was in the Navy, all the way through probably 2018. I mean, we're talking like 10 to 15 years of just listening to the same sports show every single day on my car ride. And then I couldn't do it anymore because they were just wanted conflict. You know, it became a shock jock kind of show after a couple of years, and I couldn't stand it anymore.
The ESPN.
I get it. You they don't believe what they say, and you know they don't believe it, but they say it anyway, and then they get callers, you know, like our the old version of our friend we talked about before the show, who'd just be like mad. Yeah. You know, like that's how it's just I couldn't do it anymore. Anyway, they had said that a baseball head coach manager wasn't good for more than like 5 wins a season. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that because I think a manager can be worth negative 5 runs, or 5 wins. They can be worth negative 20 wins even if they're that bad.
Yeah.
Which I think David Ross might have been
not Dusty
that
Baker,
bad.
Dusty Baker's worth 30
Craig Counsell could probably take the same roster from last year and win the division.
I mean, yeah, that's a flip. I mean, they finished 9.5 back. So you take those 5 wins with your own theory.
If you take the last 2 months and you put Craig Counsell in charge, they win the division.
So
that's that. It's that. Yeah, I think maybe they win the division by like a half a game or 1 game, but you give them that team the whole year. Yeah, they probably win it by 9 games. He manages players better.
The Brewers won by 9, so you take 5 away from them, give the 5 to the Cubs.
I'm saying all things equal for every other team. I guess except for when they played the Cubs. I don't know. There's a lot of math here. So let's just say that Craig Counsell's worth a lot more wins than David Ross.
I didn't realize
I want to talk about it with you, but at the same time, like I feel bad.
I didn't realize that Stroman went to the Yankees.
Yeah, he went to the Yankees, which is insane because he hates the Yankees.
Yeah.
And he also hates the Mets. And I didn't think he was a
money talks.
Cut my hair kind of guy. but he apparently is.
They've got a couple of guys
Money
that
does
are
talk.
They have, and we've been able to say this a couple of times about the Yankees through. They have a potential to have a Murderer's Row 2.0.
Yes.
I believe
I'm upset about it.
this is going to be my hot take. I believe if no single player misses more than 20 games this year, so Stanton, Soto, Judge, and Judge is going to be maintaining that toe and stuff like that, that they have the chance to be in the top 10 runs scored of all time.
They do have the chance.
Because you could say the same thing with the LA Dodgers too. You know how they're just giving away players just to keep what they do have, but it's incredible. Just
here's the problem with. Well, there's no problem. If you're a betting man, and like my grandpa always said, don't bet with your heart, bet with your brain. The Yankees and the Dodgers should see each other in the World Series. The problem is
that's what baseball wants too.
That's what baseball wants. Big market teams, the two biggest markets.
Get both coasts involved.
The problem is that
fan bases.
I think we're gonna see. I know baseball's juicing the balls, and yes, okay, that makes sense. But pitching has been so dominant in the past 2-3 years, almost unreasonably so. I think it's gonna continue, and we might actually see a 2005 White Sox, not the White Sox, but the small ball victory over these powerhouse teams. Pitching might rule.
You can't go toe to toe with them, so you gotta do it other way to manufacture runs.
Yeah, you got to manufacture runs from a small ball perspective, but you also have to strike these guys out. Ohtani might be hard to strike out. Judge might be hard to strike out, but you can get Soto. You can get
because they're both free swinging hitters.
Yeah, you can get some of these guys out.
Both those guys were.
You just have to hope that they don't put the ball in play with the launch angle necessary to go. The Yankees' right field is
short porch.
It's 330, maybe
309.
309, even worse. So, and you got Soto left. He's left-handed, right?
Yep.
You just, you're asking for it. But I think if under the right management, some of these heavy pitching teams could win.
Yeah, but that's what. The Orioles are trying to do it that way by going out and getting Burnsy on 1 year.
But they have offense too. But they have small ball offense. The Orioles might stand a chance.
I don't think Burnsy resigns there. I think he's a 1 year guy. I think he's one and done, and he'll run somewhere that will pay him.
I can't believe Juan Soto's on the Yankees. What the fuck?
Man, is that a 1 year and done? There's a lot of millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of politics and he's a Boris guy too, right?
I don't know, but Boris is obviously being tested by the major league. Cody Bellinger just signed last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, 3 for $80.
3 for $80, and opt out every year.
Yeah,
but I believe that the holdout was not the Boris side. I believe it was MLB. I think the owners got together and were like, we need to send this guy a message because he's got 6 guys who are still unsigned.
Yeah,
including Snell. Who's a big-time guy, and a couple other really, all-star caliber players. So I think they're trying to send him a message, which he doesn't give a shit about.
No, because he still gets his vig.
Mm-hmm.
So I think on those premium players, I think he gets more than 10.
Opting out after 1 year, God, that sucks. But hopefully it works out for Cody.
Speaking of opting out for a year, again, Trevor Bauer is still out there.
What is going on with that?
There's no risk.
Sign this fucking guy. There's no risk. He'll take the league minimum, and... it's not good for the Cubs, but
there's an opportunity to have it insured.
Who was it that said? Yeah, who was that?
Jonathan Papelbon.
Papelbon said that the Red Sox could sign him and he'll pay his salary. Come on, sign the guy, give him a shot.
That's how social media.
Yes.
God bless this podcast and everything that social media has done for us. Has railroaded wrong.
Mm-hmm. He was wronged. Let's fix that wrong. Get him signed. And he did a live BP on YouTube and shared even the bad pitches. He's hitting 95 in the cage
by himself without major league coaches,
exactly, without any training, without professional level weight rooms. He's hitting 95 just in the cage. It's crazy.
That's where the Brewers, they signed Woodruff. So
Yeah.
at least he gets to have his surgery and have a year of rehab. So he makes $3 million this year, which is petty cash to people like Atanasio. Again, spend the money. Like you have money in your organization. That's the frustrating thing, and I know that's why Council was frustrated. Is because
highest paid manager now.
Yeah, which money outside the cap, but it's
True.
it's so interesting that these got billions arguing about millions.
Right.
And you ostracize your best pitcher, Burns over Woodruff, over $300,000 in arbitration. Fuck off! Like God,
but
it's so frustrating as a fan.
It is also, from the Brewers' perspective, I think this is different. This argument I'm about to make, but I made the argument that for the NFL at least, winning, the margin between the profits of a winning team and a losing team aren't that different.
Yeah.
So the incentive to win is there, but it's not, in my opinion. It's not. And
Okay.
I think the same exists for baseball. Like, the Yankees are such a valuable team. They're going to be that valuable whether they win the World Series or not. So does spending, $400 million on a roster in one season make you more profitable? I'd argue barely. But I don't know the numbers.
But in baseball, you get 81 games of concessions and VIGs and parking.
Yeah,
and
but the
stuff
Yankees
like that
sell out.
If you're
and
tied
profit
into
sharing. So if the Pirates and the Brewers are good, yes, it benefits them way more. If the Yankees are good, they're going to sell out every game pretty much, even the weekday day games, and no one's not buying Yankees hats. So and they have to profit share.
Yeah,
so it goes negative for them, whereas like the Pirates, it goes positive. So anyway, long story short,
that's where
it's going to be a fun season, but I do fear that if the Yankees-Dodgers win, they'll get what they want, but no one else will. No one else will.
Yeah, again, Rob Manfred, we're hammering home baseball. Rob Manfred said that he's just signed his extension, so he'll be done.
Yeah.
A lot of purists are finally glad that he will be leaving.
You know what?
But in 4 years.
Baseball has its problems. I think their streaming problems are terrible. Their blackout rules are garbage. Are they stronger with him? I don't know if I believe it. But with Roger Goodell, I actually hate Roger Goodell, but he is succeeded beyond any imagine. Like, as far as business rules go, the NFL is like the most profitable thing in the world
because the product sells itself.
The product does sell itself, but that doesn't mean that Roger Goodell's not. He sucks. Like I want to make it clear that like I hate his rulings on rules and stuff like that. But at the same time, like if a CEO of a company's making money, they're not going to fire him, and Roger Goodell's not losing money.
No, he's the Pope. Like
yeah,
the buck stops with him.
It's hard to argue. Yeah,
with Manfred, there's other inner workings, and the competition committee and all of this.
There's
stuff,
bad things that anyway. Final thing, the one thing I think that baseball's doing right, and final thing on baseball before we get to this beer. I have always been a fan of following prospects. I know you have a friend who does a lot of minor league games,
Juice.
follows prospects.
Helping me make my picks.
I do. I think prospects are a fun thing to follow. I love going to Dragons games. And now my kids are approaching college age, and so we're starting to kind of like see kids from like who were seniors when my son was a freshman. They're getting drafted and recruited by colleges, and it's just like cool to see all this stuff. And like coaches they have are sharing social media posts of real kids who may have been in the same organization playing in the minor leagues. It's insane to see this stuff firsthand. But I also think that the average baseball fan has gotten smarter on baseball. And for the first time ever, MLB is doing during spring training a like 3-day prospect showcase, which I think is there's no way to do that if people didn't care. And I think that doing that is amazing because there's so many good prospects that you actually feel like when I went to spring training in 2007, if you had a game where no pros were playing, no major league rostered players were playing, the tickets don't sell or people get mad. But now I think the talent's so good that it actually sells itself so well that they're doing prospect only showcases, which is incredible. I mean, we're talking like a prospect all-star game during spring training.
A couple of the summer ball leagues that, you know, are Woods League that we call it in Wisconsin or whatever. They have a bunch of, like, you know, Jordan Montgomery played up there. There's a couple of, you know, major league guys, Jeremy Bonderman. There's a couple of people that I got to see growing up.
Yeah.
$25 ticket, all you can eat, all you can drink,
nice,
and watch baseball. So
yeah.
there's leagues. You have you know, the Northeastern has a big, you know, summer league or whatever like that, where you have college kids coming up that live in host families. They're not making any money.
Right.
We could get into the collegiate rules too. It affects more of football than baseball, but all these NIL deals.
Dude. The NIL actually helps.
It's killing football.
But the recruiting rules are fucking garbage.
Where teams now are being gutted, and now it's just going to be Ohio State.
No, it's the transfer portal. I don't think it's NIL. It's the transfer portal. I mean, NIL.
But they can buy it. They're going to have to make
buy players.
They're going to have to make a salary cap for college sports, for college football specifically. And Nick Saban is going to, you know, and Nick Saban, even though he's retired, he still has a seat in the stadium. He's got the second biggest office in the stadium, bigger than any of the coordinators at Bryant Denny. And he's going to start advocating that this is ruining, because teams are coming in and are like just purchasing players off of other teams.
Yes, yeah, it makes total sense. I mean,
I'm all for him getting paid. I don't think the archaic thing is you just get your education, because a lot of these students aren't there for a 4-year education.
No, they're not there for the NIL is the right thing. Was the right thing to do, because what you're seeing
bastardized so much though.
Players are worth what they're getting. That's the problem. Is that
the market
dictates. So if people want to pay for their autographs, or they want to pay for their endorsements on, you know, a commercial, that's what they're worth. So you get that. I prefer the Barstool model, where they have like the Barstool athlete, and they just pay all these people to wear their gear around campus and stuff. Maybe do a video or two on their Barstool website. But that's not the case, obviously, with like the highly touted football players. But the transfer portal is where things get fucked, because you could have NIL at Ohio State, but if you didn't have the transfer portal and the eligibility to transfer, you can only really pay. You can't buy players away. And the transfer portal is ruining baseball as well. From what I understand, most of your best baseball players who are who have grades too low to make it to a D1 college will play JUCO or D3 for the first, not even D3, they can't make it. They'll play JUCO the first year and then do transfer portal stuff. And once you get to JUCO and you're a athlete, I mean, how easy is it to cheat the system?
They've done shows like Last Chance U.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and so then you got all these sophomores from JUCO that transfer to like D1 schools, and you have seniors in high school who thought they were going to play D1 baseball, who are going to teams where their rosters get filled up, and then they basically have to do a year, either on the bench or not on the team.
Yeah,
it's kind of fucked up.
Honestly. Essentially, they redshirt.
It's kind of a fucked up situation, and I don't really look forward to it, but that's the way it is. And now you can't even recruit D1 athletes until senior year, which I think is just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Anyway.
Weldwerks Triple Juicy Diamonds. A
lot of stuff there.
Hazy Triple IPA, 9.2%. This is... it smells like the dankest hops.
Okay, so I did the can art. I'll go off the top rope again. I know that I always make the argument like this is a beer podcast, so our review should be long, but we just talked about sports for a while. So I'm at a 2.75 on this beer, and not because it's a bad beer. I think they mask the alcohol well. On a triple IPA, it's easy to lose yourself to the booze, but this beer smells like it was left in the washing machine for too long. That's I have a lot of experience with working with like shitty water, not shitty literally, but like we've lived
like your basement.
Well, we had basement floods. We had well water for a while. We've had washing machine mishaps, and so there's one smell in particular that is never the fault of the washing machine. It's the fault of the washer, the person. And that's when you leave your clothes in the washer for too long.
Yeah, mildewy.
And this beer smells like you left your clothes in the washer too long. Not a big fan of that. The taste in regards to the booziness, well done. Everything else, it's not the best tasting beer. It does have that mildewy. Just top rope 275.
Off the top rope, I give this a 3.0. It's got a little bit more of a chew to it than I would like. I like dank beers. I like the Emperor. There's beers up there that hit your nose or your olfactory senses with hops. And I love how hop forward, and it's just like the signature, and it's just a one note. It's just a sledgehammer of hops. This is like an unappealing, or just it's. I'm glad we only cracked one.
The smell ruined it.
I am.
If I could.
I'm glad we cracked one. One because of the bigger beer or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like this would have been a tougher road to hoe if we both try to do a pint can betwixt us. It's interesting. I think this is like a shock rock beer, and the fact that they tried to see how much they could cram into it. With it being a triple, we've had far more pleasing triples on this pod, but I think being with the hazy because you can suspend a lot more. It covers up a lot more mistakes or unfortunate circumstances. I don't think it's enough where it covers up maybe what they intended. This is maybe for, somebody that carries around like a violin and has fancy facial hair and wears like a fedora or a multiple syllable hat. This is just, it's interesting. It's a conversation driver. I would like to talk to somebody that enjoys this beer and thinks that this beer is absolutely a home run, because I think I could learn something. It just, different strokes, different folks. This is just not one for me. I got a couple more cans of it. I'm sure I will drink it as a one-off, and it'll be that drink. The best way I can put a bow on this is it's just when you drink it and you just go like that, and then you'll just power through it. But
yeah. I think the taste is... My last sip was better than all the other sips, but the smell still ruined it. Like, the smell's so low that it averages out the taste score to a lower score. That's the problem, is if you can figure out what... Like, I think it's the water, but it could just be an ingredient that I'm not accounting for.
It comes from the Rockies. Coors Light.
Is that the Weldwerks, did you say?
It's in Greeley, Colorado.
Greeley. Yeah, that's right, because I remember when you said that, I thought of a band called Greeley Estates, and I wonder if they're from there. They're kind of like a raspy punk band. But anyway, it's the smell. It's the smell. That's a good episode title, by the way. It's the smell.
I got nothing better.
Greeley, Colorado. I wonder what's there. Anyway, Colorado, great place. I've not been there ever, but I've met a lot of people from there. And they seem nice. They're all nice. I like everyone I've met from Colorado.
Colorado, I think, is like Vegas. Nice place to visit. Couldn't live there.
Oh, I could never live in Vegas. Fuck that. Horrible.
But
my undershirt's actually from Vegas, the one I'm wearing under my sweater. But I won't take my sweater off because it'll be divisive.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Last comment before we send this one home and package it up, put a bow on it, and kick her out the door. Did you watch Elimination Chamber this last weekend?
I didn't.
I got up at 5 a.m. to watch it live.
Man, it's crazy how when the kid reaches the age where they stop, how hard it is to remember.
I doubled down when I was their age.
Yeah, I wish that I would have watched it. I thought about it on Sunday night, and then I was like, it's too late. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Was it good? Worth it?
It was everything. It was 4 matches plus a interview segment. It was what you expected. The Aussie crowd just added so much. There's certain crowds that add. Chicago, Philadelphia,
I'm
New
glad
York.
they're getting out there.
But again, what a hellacious drug. Because it was the Elimination Chamber, they were going to ship it, and they were worried about pirates. So they went the long way around the globe and did a bunch of the logisticians, the loggies for WWE to make that happen at like the last minute instead of putting it on the slow boat through the Suez Canal, just in case the
Through the
pirates,
Suez Canal.
in case there would have been pirates or whatever, they went the other way around.
So that's interesting because I have some experience with counter piracy, and it's not illegal to arm your ship. It's just uncommon.
Yeah.
That they should have called me. I would have helped.
Well, they're not renting out a Maersk or anything like that for the elimination. Like, so it would just be.
But they should have.
They would be buying space on another.
Yeah, they're buying space, but that doesn't mean that they can't also buy beds.
Oh, okay.
For security and stuff. And it's not
put some wrestlers out there.
When you ship high value things,
you have the
precious
Undertaker
metals and things. The Undertaker. You can hire private security to escort the Connex boxes. You don't have to escort the ship the whole way if the boxes come off. But interesting. That's really cool. If you have an article, I'd like to see that because that's like really in my wheelhouse of things I'm interested in.
It was just a blurb that they went the other way with it, but it was just
they went through the Suez Canal.
Some talent had to take like 4 and 5 leg trips to get there. It just my problem is why you're not renting out a plane.
Why didn't you charter a plane
for all your fucking...
That is weird. Why wouldn't you charter
because
a plane?
they do it for the Saudi shows.
Yeah.
But, so anyways, I'm excited. We're 39 days now from WrestleMania.
Excited.
We're on the fucking road. Again, next week we'll be distanced, but we've exchanged beers. We'll be drinking the same beers distanced for the first time. That's not an advent calendar and... At least 15 episodes.
Many moons.
At least 15. This is one of those where I just want to keep drinking and just drink random stuff, but life happens and we're getting to that point. It's snowed on Friday and it's going to be 70 this Friday. So that's, we're in that time of year.
This is why people with allergies hate Ohio. This because of this week right now, what we're experiencing.
Yeah. Got the air purifier going.
I'm a big Ohio fan. I've become a big proponent of the state, but yeah, I mean, everything's going on. That's why this episode was so meaty, because baseball's starting, wrestling's in high gear, football's ended, but there's still drama.
We got the UFL coming up.
The UFL, which should be the NCAA, but we all alluded to that. But and Nick Saban will probably be a proponent of the minor league system. But that's huge. The Rock, boom. That's it. That's episode 268. Bye.